Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I think that's how I'm going to start actually opening up these videos, but we're going to be doing another comparison today, the iPhone 11 versus the iPhone 8 Plus. Now this is the camera comparison, so this is not going to be that full in-depth comparison, but if you want to watch that one, I've already done it. You can go back on the channel. I'll try to link it down in the description if I remember, but either or, this is just going to be the camera comparison. I'm going to be looking at basically which one is the better camera. I'm going to tell you right now though, the iPhone 11 I think is probably the better one. I mean, it's the newer one. Really the only advantage for the iPhone 8 Plus is the telephoto lens, which the iPhone 11 does not have, but the iPhone 11 has the ultra wide sensor, which the iPhone 8 Plus does not have. So it's like a flip flop. The front cameras are a little bit different on both as well, but that's probably for a separate video, which I probably won't even ever make. But I just want to get one thing out of the gate. I'm not the best, photographer. I'm not like a huge camera. I don't even use the camera personally that much anyway. And if I do, it's just to send Snapchats or like Instagram stories to people. Like that's really it. I don't go and like take full on like crazy photos or portrait modes all the time. Like I don't really do that. That's just not me. I have a dedicated DSLR to make these videos, so it's like I don't even need to use it. But I know there's still people out there who do that, so I have to be a little bit flexible there. I will say both cameras are 12 megapixels on all sensors. So the iPhone 8 Plus has two 12 megapixel sensors. iPhone 11 has two 12 megapixel sensors as well. So let's go ahead and see which one is the better quality camera. Like I said, probably the iPhone 11 is the better one, but let's just see what the biggest differences are between these. Now, this whole entire comparison, the iPhone 8 Plus photo will be on the left. The iPhone 11's photos will be on the right. So kind of keep that in mind. Now looking at this first photo, it's literally just of the Rubik's Cubes that I usually do, and I don't notice that big of a difference straight out of the first photo. Maybe the only thing on the iPhone 11, the desk in the background is a little bit lighter to me, but for me personally, I think the colors pop evenly on both. Maybe the iPhone 11 does a little bit better at the color accuracy. I don't even know what that means, but maybe the iPhone 11 wins in this photo, but very little. Like I wouldn't even consider it. Like it's a tie between both of those photos in my opinion. Now in this photo, I do notice a little bit of difference. So on the iPhone 8 Plus on the left, you can see that the photo looks, I think in my opinion, a little bit greener in a way. Like the leaf looks a little bit more, I don't know, in detail. The iPhone 11, for some reason, it just looks like that photo is just a little bit dull. I don't know. It's just how it looks in my eyes. If you look in like the top leftish corner, like right above the leaf, you can see that the leaves in the background also look a little bit more greener on the iPhone 8 Plus than it does on the iPhone 11. But I feel like you can show this photo to like 3 different people and they'll have 2 different opinions on which one is better. So I don't really know which one is better, but if I had to choose one, I kind of like the iPhone 8 Plus's photo more than the iPhone 11's, which is kind of weird. I wasn't expecting to say that. Now this next photo is also Rubik's Cubes. Again, not that big of a difference. One thing I'm noticing right out the gate is that the iPhone 11 kind of warms the photos a little bit more than the iPhone 8 Plus. So on the iPhone 8 Plus, the desk looks a little bit cooler and the Rubik's Cube looks a little bit cooler in terms of the color than the iPhone 11. So I don't know which one you guys personally prefer, but the one I personally prefer in these two would probably again be the iPhone 8 Plus. I feel like that photo looks a little bit cooler and I like that cooler colors. I don't like overly warm colors either. And it's almost the same thing, but if you can see that split line in the middle, that kind of shows, which one is the different color between them. I kind of like the iPhone 8 Pluses here too, but you might have a different opinion. I don't think one is way better than the other. Now this next photo, again, is actually kind of interesting because it's like flip-flopped. It's like the iPhone 8 Plus's photo is a little bit warmer here now too, and the iPhone 11's is a little bit cooler. Now me personally, like I said, I'm not that big of a photographer. I don't really look at photos, even though I take way more photos than probably anybody else, at least more photos than anybody else I personally know. I honestly just look at a photo and I'm just like, is it a good looking photo? Yes, and I move on. So in this one, again, I don't know which one is better. I think maybe the 8 Plus is a little bit better. I don't know. I don't want to keep saying the 8 Plus is better because I don't want to seem biased to the 8 Plus because I think a lot more people want me to say the 11 is better, but honestly, I don't know, dude. I think I like the 8 Plus's photo here too. That warmer color sometimes, I mean, I know at the last one I said the cooler color was better, but in this one, I honestly don't know. I think, again, it's almost like a tie. It's like, which one do you prefer, One thing, like I said, I noticed 11 a little bit cooler, 8 Plus a little bit warmer in this photo. And in case I didn't mention before, these photos are actually all taken automatically. I don't color grade them. They're taken at the same exact location. I don't even tap to focus. I let the cameras autofocus on themselves. So not a huge thing, but I just want to get that out of the way. Now this next photo is one of grass. We have to be one with nature, one of grass. And I don't really notice a big difference between these. They honestly look like almost the exact same photo in my opinion. So because of that, I want to give the edge to the 8 Plus. Totally joking. This is not that. they look almost the same. So if you can see a difference, let me know. Maybe the 11's background looks a little bit grayer in my opinion, like the color, but I didn't really notice that big of a difference. Now this next photo is a really, really interesting one because again, taken at the same location, not tap to focus, nothing. And I've noticed this with all new iPhones for some reason, and I actually like it. The newer iPhones, the red colors, they kind of pop up a little bit more than the older iPhones. So on the 8 Plus, the red looks a little bit dull. The 11, it looks like it's kind of popping out and a lot more vibrant in my opinion. So between these, I kind of like the 11s. Also, if you look at that leaf right underneath the red rose, whatever that is, you can see it also is kind of still in focus, where on the 8 Pluses, it's not in focus. So one thing right there to notice. This next photo is actually of portrait mode, and again, one thing I will say, when I was taking these photos, I had to hop out a lot more on the iPhone 8 Plus. I had to actually back up quite a bit more than I did on the iPhone 11s in order to get them in the same distance. So if you can tell on the iPhone 8 Plus in the background, the color is just a little bit like the light seems overexposed in my opinion. On the iPhone 11, it seems a lot more less exposed, if that makes any sense. So it doesn't look like it's like overexposed in any way. So I definitely do like the 11's portrait mode way more than the iPhone 8 Pluses. This next photo is not even that big of a deal. It's literally just of a Rubik's Cube on a windowsill. And I don't really notice that big of a difference either here. They look like almost the exact same photos. So I don't want to spend 30 minutes talking about it. Now this next photo showcases one of the best features of the iPhone 11, which is that ultra wide sensor. And what you can do here is you can get way more into a photo. Now both of these photos were taken in the exact same location, probably like 1 centimeter away from each other. And look at that difference. Look how much more you can get into a photo on the iPhone 11 that you can't really get on the iPhone 8 Plus. But like I stated, you do have that telephoto lens, but from what I've heard, a lot more people prefer the ultra wide sensor than the telephoto lens. So you also have that capability on the iPhone 11's video camera. You can do ultra wide sensor there too. So that's a really cool thing. And this next photo also replicates that ultra wide sensor. And look how much more, I mean, this is insane how much more you can get into a photo. It's like actually kind of freaky. This is the first phone that I've actually used as a main phone, or the 11 Pro, but the 11 Pro is the first phone that I've used as a main phone that had an ultra wide sensor. So a pretty cool thing right there. So that's one of the best features of the iPhone 11's camera. And this next photo is just of that same exact teddy bear, and it's just a close-up of that photo, and I don't really notice that much difference right out of the front, but what I can tell you is that when I'm looking at like the gray hairs on the iPhone 11's photo, it seems like those are actually more in focus and more defined than on the iPhone 8 Pluses. It seems like that one's a little bit more like yellow in a way. On the iPhone 11, it looks more in focus, and it looks like you can kind of tell the differences between each hair. So that's really, really cool. So I kind of give that edge to the iPhone 11. This next photo was actually taken indoors in really bad lighting. Like it was really bad. And I wanted to see which one would basically show the less noise in the photo. And without a doubt, you can tell right here, the iPhone 8 Plus's photo looks so like washed out. The iPhone 11's actually looks really, really good. And you can see a lot more into that photo, a lot more of the lines, and it looks way more defined on the iPhone 11's photo than it does on the iPhone 8 Plus's. So that's a really cool thing. I actually like this one a lot, and this really showcases, I guess, the software improvements that Apple was able to do within the iPhone 11's camera that, technically speaking, the iPhone 8 Plus's camera, I guess, doesn't have. This next photo is actually kind of a bad one, and I don't really know. The iPhone 11's photo doesn't really look too good here. Again, it was kind of a bad lighting and everything, but another thing to keep in mind is that even though the 8 Pluses looks a little bit better, look at the overexposure you have on the right side of the photo. The iPhone 11's, it seems like it was focusing in on that card slot or the card open thing, where the iPhone 8 Pluses was focusing in on the buttons. Again, I let it autofocus. I didn't choose where it focused, but I kind of like the iPhone 11's because it was able to underexpose where it was supposed to. The iPhone 8 Plus, you can't see anything on that top right corner. Like I couldn't tell what was there. But on the iPhone 11, I can see what's there. So that's really, really cool. Now this last photo is actually one of outside, and it was showing like some like wooden grain. I don't remember what it was, but you can kind of see two different perspectives on how the iPhone 8 Plus interprets that dark wood thing, whatever, and how the iPhone 11 interprets it. Now, in my opinion, I think the iPhone 8 Plus did a better job at showcasing the actual wood color, but the iPhone 11 kind of looks a little bit better, but I can see how some people might prefer the 8 Plus and some people might prefer the iPhone 11. So it really just depends which one do you like. The 8 Plus seems a little bit more like defined in a way, but the iPhone 11 seems a little bit more brighter, and some people might prefer that one. So kind of pick which one you like. In my opinion, it's like 50-50. I like the 8 Pluses, but I also like the iPhone 11. So I don't know, that's kind of that. Now, this next thing is actually of the photo the video, sorry, and you can see it's just my standard testing, and I don't really notice a crazy difference when I first looked at it, but now I do notice quite a bit of difference. The colors, like I said before, the reds popping on the iPhone 11, they look so much better, and that kind of showcases in the videos as well. When I'm autofocusing, I kind of see a little bit of difference as well. When I'm looking at the photos or the video quality difference, there seems to be quite a bit of difference, I'll be completely honest. The 11 seems to be a little bit better at optical image stabilization as well, so that's always a really good thing. And like I stated, you have that ultra wide sensor. I didn't showcase it here, but you have that capability on the iPhone 11. The dirt seems to be a little bit more focused on the pot as well, and even though it's not 100% aligned, I tried my best to kind of get it going and like get it as aligned as possible, but I kind of messed up here and there. But ultimately, to kind of like run over this whole entire comparison, what I can tell you is I think the iPhone 8 Plus overall is still a really good camera. I don't think you're really missing out on crazy amounts of things. If you're someone who uses your camera like every so often, like you just take snapshots and that's it, I don't think you really care about the camera quality. Like I really honestly don't care that much. But if you're somebody who does use your cameras all the time, and you're someone who wants to get the most out of your camera quality, if you have kids or you have pets or you have parents or whatever the case is, you just take photos on your phone all the time, it might be worth it to you to invest into a better camera, and I think you will be getting an overall better camera experience on the iPhone 11. You have not only like the better quality photos, but you also have more features on the iPhone 11's photos, such as that ultra wide sensor. So ultimately, I don't think the 8 Plus's camera is bad at all. I think it's still a very good sensor, but I do think the iPhone 11 is noticeably better. If you want to go back into this comparison and look at the differences like frame by frame, or if you want to zoom into the photos and see what the differences are, you can obviously do that, be my guest, but don't be a freak about it. Totally joking. But I just think, I don't know, like for me personally, if I had an 8 Plus, I would probably still keep it. But I do think if you use like an iPhone 6 or you have like a Galaxy S3 or something, or you want to go upgrade, getting an iPhone 11 would be really nice, you know. And in the Apple Store, you can still get both of them brand new. But the iPhone 11, I think, is the better overall sensor. So that pretty much covers that. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much. But definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.